Hey everybody, this is Steve Moore, owner of Run More, a brick and mortar running shop here in Westminster, Maryland, and one of the top 50 running stores in the country. Today we have a review on the new Hoka Cavu 3. This came out in February of 2020. We've carried the Cavu in the past, and we've carried a couple other Hoka models in that fly category. So this whole category of shoes features stuff like the Mach and the Carbon X, stuff that they really consider as their lightweight trainer, maybe a racing shoe, a fast-paced shoe, even a gym shoe. So it's not maybe a shoe that you would think about if you were going to go be training for a marathon, and something that you would wear for your everyday long run type stuff. But maybe that shoe that you just put on certain days where you just kind of want to go fast and fly. We had some success on the Cavu 2. I just didn't love it. I didn't love the sizing of it, for one thing, and if you had been with that model in previous generations of the Cavu, that seemed to be an issue they were having, which is usually unlike Hoka. They're one of those brands that seem to be pretty dialed in on their sizing, but for whatever reason, the Cavu 2 was all over the place. They seemed like they were running really big for a while. We were fitting people in really weird sizes that they were unaccustomed to, and it was frustrating for us, and it just felt clunky and too wide, and it seemed to be a bit of a mess, to be honest with you. So with much trepidation, we brought back the Cavu 3, and so far things have been going well with it. We got a chance to see it last year and put it on our feet and kind of pop around with it, and we were really excited about the way it felt, the way it performed, and the way it fit, that we wanted to give it another chance here at the shop. So we were excited to bring this shoe in and to see it come back on our walls. So a couple of big changes right out of the gate. First and foremost, the price went up a little bit. So it went from $110 to $120. Nothing crazy. A couple of little tweaks here and there on some of the other specs of the shoe. For one, it got lighter. This shoe was already really light, and now it got even lighter. So now we're down to 6.9 ounces on the men and only 5.2 ounces on the women. So this shoe weighs in less than the Rincon, it weighs in less than the Clifton, and some of the other fan favorite Hokas out there. This is going to be one of the lightest shoes that's out there in the Hoka catalog. The stack height changed a little bit. So now we've actually gone down a little bit in stack height, and we raised a little bit of our heel to toe drop. So this shoe, for whatever reason, is now a 6mm heel to toe drop. Nothing drastic, but I just thought it was worth mentioning. I like that 5 to 6mm drop. It's right in that sweet spot for people. Some people that are accustomed to like an old school traditional running shoe thrown on like an A6 Nimbus or something like that. Some that are used to a really high heel to toe drop. It feels somewhat comfortable. Sometimes it feels a little clunky. And then there are people that want to lower it, and they maybe want to go all the way down to like a 0 drop, and sometimes that causes its own bit of problems for people. This seems to be right in the middle, and maybe it's a good transitional drop height for people that want to go from that standard heel to toe drop of 8 to 10 millimeters down to maybe a 0 drop. This is a great shoe to sort of cut you down by being right in that 6mm drop. So the biggest other change on this shoe was the upper. They have now gone to a tongueless upper on this shoe. Watching people put it on the last couple weeks and putting it on our staff and such, it definitely takes a bit getting used to, because you're not accustomed to putting on a shoe that has a tongue that's fully sewn in. Like, you saw people that were confused by it at first. They're like, how do you get this stupid shoe on? But once you get it on, it feels really good. The fit feels awesome. It's really stretchy and sock-like. It fits my foot perfectly. There are some models of Hokas that I have found to be either too narrow, or even some of the new stuff like the Clifton, for example, I feel kind of runs a little almost wide on my foot. But the way this upper is designed, it feels extra stretchy. It really does just sort of feel form-fitting. And even though I have like a bit of a bunion going on my right foot, it doesn't feel like it's pressing in on it, even though some shoes that have that really nice, squishy, sock-like upper sometimes feel like it's giving too much pressure. This one just sort of conforms around my foot and feels really nice. The other thing I like about this shoe is that it still has that nice Hoka roll to it. I felt like in the Cavu 2, it didn't feel like a Hoka. And I kind of was alluding to the Cavu 2 when I was doing my last review on the Hoka Rincon, about how Hoka was making some shoes that didn't seem like Hokas. This shoe feels like a Hoka shoe. You can feel that nice little heel to toe roll with it. You can feel yourself springing off. I like when I sit back on my heels, you can feel yourself sort of sinking in on the heels. It's nice and squishy soft back there. And when you want to go forward, it does give you a propel forward. This is almost like a Hoka shoe for people that don't want to wear a Hoka shoe. I know that sounds weird, but we've been carrying Hoka shoes since 2014 at our shop, and there were people that would come in and they would look at a Hoka and they would just be like, I don't want anything to do with that shoe. It looks goofy, it feels goofy, I just can't see myself wearing it. We'd have people that pick up a shoe and they'd say it looks like an orthopedic shoe. This shoe is like a stylish, cool looking shoe in a bunch of fun colors. It has that nice Hoka feel to it, but if you don't want to wear a traditional looking shoe, if you're embarrassed walking down the street in a traditional Hoka, you can get away with wearing this, I think, a super stylish looking shoe that fits really well and will still give you that nice heel to toe roll off, and maybe you're not just screaming, I'm wearing a weird shoe. So that's one of the things I liked about this shoe, and it's also one of the reasons why we've had a lot of people that just come in and aesthetically pick it up and look at it, and they'll come over to us and say, I want to try this shoe on. At our shop, we don't want to be like a sporting goods store. People just come and point to a shoe and say, I like it because it's blue. We try to spend a little bit of time with people and make sure that the shoe actually works and lines up with them. But it's always fun for us to see what gravitates people, what gets their eyes and grabs them over to them and say, I need to try this shoe on. So this shoe, since it's come in, has sort of led that category in the I want to feel what this shoe feels like on my foot, because it just looks really cool. And people can see themselves wearing it out and about, not just for running and gym and such, but as a casual everyday shoe. But because it is so light, I would still think this shoe is going to be that fast-paced shoe. I wouldn't feel comfortable running in this shoe much more than 10 miles if I was going out for a run, just because I feel like it is so light. I might not feel as protective as I would in something else, even if something like just a little bit more to it, like the Rincon or, like I said, the Clifton. This shoe is still going to be that fast-paced shoe. The outer is a little bit different as well. It's still using their ProFly EVA. That gives a little bit of bounce, a little bit of cushion. It has some rubber protecting the outside, give a little more durability, and get a little more targeting stability on your heel and your forefoot. But just keep in mind, this is not a stability shoe. This is still considered a straight neutral shoe. So if you are somebody who severely overpronates, this shoe probably isn't going to be a great option for you unless you put in something like an orthotic or a super feeder. Something that gives you just a little bit more medial arch support to it. And again, if you're somebody who really severely supinates or underpronates, this shoe will be okay. It's not going to fix you anyway. It's not going to move you from the outside to the inside. But you should be okay with this shoe. But if you are a severely flat-footed person who really overpronates, I might stay away from this shoe and think about some other options in that category. But anyway, the Hoka Cavu 3, really fun shoe. If you want to go out there and turn some fast miles, maybe something you want to wear to the gym, maybe something that you want to see yourself wearing with a pair of jeans after you retire them. Fits great, feels great. Price went up to $120. Still a really good price for an awesome pair of Hoka shoes. And if you do want to purchase this shoe, you can hop on over to our website at letsrunmore.com. We'll have a link down below. If you enter promo code RUNMORE, you'll save yourself 10% and we'll ship it out to you for free. If you have tried the other previous versions of the Cavu, leave a comment below. Let me know what you think about it. See if you had any issues with the sizing as well. I'm always curious to see other people's feedback on it. Please like and subscribe to our channel. It really does help us with our little algorithms to help find new people out there to come and work with us. Thank you so much, and we'll see you out there.